Hello and welcome to Victoriana. It's a few days into the beginning of August. At the moment August doesn't actually feel like August, it's a bit more like April and April showers. A few minutes ago it was literally beating down with rain, and now it's come out hot and sunny, and it won't be long again before it's pouring down with the rain again. We're a few days late with our August clip. Been quite busy on the nursery, and also one of the things we were able to do just recently was pop over to Howlett's Wildlife Park, which is part of the Aspinall Foundation, and something we support by donating them plants and herbs and bits and pieces that they put into the animal enclosures, and they also do enrichment projects with, and in return we get to go over and see what they do with the bits and pieces, and also have one or two treats, and this is what we were doing just a couple of days ago.
That's it. Yeah, they're quite nervous animals, so see they just took that bit and then go to a little bit so they feel a bit more safe. But they'll be back. Come back, King.
Yeah, come in, I'll pick you up.
But then, because they say lots of apples, pears, herbs, grasses, bark, soil, all the things they can eat, insects, nectar, they're not always as hungry. Not to me, Effie. She's a good girl.
See those little teeth?
Yeah, the little teeth are quite sharp, pointy.
Look like cats'
It's
teeth.
designed for like peeling fruits. You want to take some more grapes? Yeah, as long as you don't eat them.
A bit like you, they like the grapes.
She's very gentle, she doesn't want to like hurt you. Getting a bit of a belly on him already, King. Which it's quite hard to do their diets, because soon we probably won't be giving them any like apples, grapes, bananas, because they have to come out and get themselves. Nice colours though, isn't he?
It's beautiful, isn't
And
it?
shades.
It's nice to see them different to the black and white.
Yeah, it's nice to have species that not every single collection has as well, but it's important for us to breed these. And do you want some more grapes?
So that was all a bit of fun. Now we're back to the real world and back to work, and as I say, back to the grotty weather. This time last week we were having our tomato day. Sadly we only actually had 2 people turn up for our tomato day, which was a little bit of a surprise, because previous years we've had a lot of people come and visit us, but I guess that's probably the Olympics that's hurt us there. We struggled last week because we only had about 30 of the 50 varieties had fruits on. But it's amazing what a week of good weather has made, and as you can see virtually every variety's now got fruit on. And now the problem we're having is we've got birds, particularly blackbirds, coming in here and pecking the fruit, which is something we've never had before. So it's the year of pestilence continues, so it's another trial for us, I guess. But I'll give you a quick run round of what we've been doing around the nursery in July and what we hope to get up to in August. So over in the bee area, the bees are finally happy. This was our first hive. This hive's been here for a year now, and this is the one that swarmed, leaving us with some queen cells, which our bee man came over and squashed most of them out, leaving a couple. They hatched, and obviously the 2 queens argued it out, and we ended up with a happy queen, and we've got happy bees in there again, which is excellent. And the hive that arrived with us this year without a queen, and some very, very grumpy bees, the bee man actually came across a swarm with a good queen and brought that over, and in a very interesting early morning he and I put the new hive on top with some newspaper in between, so that the old bees had to meet the new bees slowly, and literally within a couple of days it was amazing. The bees cheered up completely. Certainly this time a few weeks ago I wouldn't have been standing anywhere near here, and that's actually a reason why the bee area itself is a little bit weedy, quite a predominance of borage in there, but it was a case that we couldn't actually come up here for fear of being stung. But now we've got happy bees, and they seem to be happy with everything in there, so I think we're going to let them pretty well get on with themselves for this year. One thing we have managed to get done in July was to strip out all the herb beds, all the herb area, and replant them. We're hoping to actually put some new edging and things in, but the weather's been against us with the rain, and on the days that we've had dry days, Simon, our woodman, has obviously been trying to get on with fencing and jobs he's got coming out of his ears from way back in the spring. So this is a project of, we've more or less put the bits and pieces in here, put the herbs in, replanted. We need to put the edging round it. Needs weed now. These been in about a couple of 3 weeks now and are starting to establish, but overall we're pretty pleased. This is going to be a nice herb area, planted up in a different way to we had it before. It's going to give us all the culinary herbs and one or two others, so hopefully when it's finished, when it's weeded over and established a little bit more, we'll open up the willow archway, which we've actually allowed to grow over, so it's a natural gate. But hopefully in a month or so's time this will be looking really quite attractive. So out here on the vegetable garden, despite the poor start to the year and then the continued cold weather and the winds and the rain and everything else we've had to contend with, like everyone else who's got a veg garden, I have to say it's now looking quite impressive. The corn's even starting to get to a reasonable height. Not quite sure what sort of cobs we're going to get out of them, but that's growing away nicely. The second crop of climbing peas are nearly as tall as me. Broad beans have really picked up. Even things like the parsnips are coming on well. So I have to say, yeah, all in all, very pleased out here. Difficult year on a vegetable garden, but just proves that it's not impossible even in a hard year. And we're getting some good crops off this and really quite happy. Things like the onions are proving to come nicely as well. Not going to be the biggest this year, but that's not the end of the world. We're going to get a good crop. It's not going to be a disastrous year after all. So yeah, very happy out here. So it was only a month or so ago that I was pruning these trees back and weeding them off, and as if by magic the weeds are back already, and that has been a little bit of a problem for us this year. Obviously we don't use any chemical weed control, so we've had an awful lot of weeding to do, lots of pot weeding. It's been one of those things that we've been through the beds and had everything off several times in the last couple of months, and been a bit of a struggle, and I guess that's really the weather has caused that, helped everything to grow away beautifully. But other than that, I think we're looking pretty tidy down here. Everything's looking pretty cheerful, and yeah, no, we're quite happy really. The beds are looking quite good. So this year in the flower area we've given it all over to chrysanthemums, and they're finally coming along quite nicely. It's been a slow year. Didn't think they were actually going to make it up to the height they are now, and they're all budding nicely, so it won't be long before we're seeing some nice bloom. So hopefully this will soon be pretty and also give us a lot of cut flower for the house. So it wasn't that long ago that we stopped veg production for the summer months. Well, the summer's sort of creeping on and we need to be thinking about autumn now, autumn and winter plantings and cropping. So we've already started our production of plants for the autumn and winter, and these are one or two down in the cage near to the till for callers who come in and buy bits and pieces. And we've got nice brassicas and beans and peas and everything, and they're ready to go in now. And they'll give us crops, or give you crops, right through into Christmassy sort of time and beyond. So yeah, it's time to be doing those things. Plants are looking good. Cabbage whites haven't had them at the moment, which is a good thing, and obviously everything's netted, so nor of our friends are pigeons, so quite happy with our veg plants as well. Here in the bubble we've got lots and lots of pretty bits that we've grown: New Guinea impatiens, begonias, geraniums. They're all looking very attractive now, and it'd be nice to see a few more people to actually buy some of them. Propagation wise in here we're not doing an awful lot. Fuchsias, it's that time of year where we're tidying up and starting to prune back. I'm glad to see that we've got some seed pods appearing on the fuchsias, so it won't be long before we can start saving and collecting some fuchsia seed, which is always an interesting and fun one for us because it's quite a difficult seed to clean. But no, overall it looks tidy in here, and as I say, lots and lots of pretty bits that really do look pretty. So here in the prop area, there's a little bit going on, but it's not as manic as the spring. We're still producing further crops of things like our thyme lawn. Obviously got some perennials underway for next year, and also doing small successional sowings of veg. The beds themselves are all turned off now. We don't need the heat on at the moment. So we've got quite a lot of empty space. Up the far end there, you can see there's 1 or 2 bits and pieces that Millie's been growing. Millie decided earlier in the year that she wanted to start growing exotics. So at home in her propagator, she started off with some coffee and tamarinds and star fruits and cherry moyas and all sorts of other exotic plants. She's done very well. She's making use of the little bit of space up the end there at the moment, and yeah, it's quite exciting really. A 7-year-old is growing all sorts of exotic plants and really enjoying it too. But as I say, the bed's quite empty. Over down there though are our pickling onions that we've lifted, and we're once again using the dry space to let them dry out before we think about pickling them. Quite what we're going to do with some of them I'm not sure. We're going to need some pretty big jars, as we've got some huge pickling onions there. So yeah, going to be some big pickled onions for next year, which will be great. So this time of year we're not so busy in the packing house, and so some of the packing benches get turned over for drying seed crops. And here we're actually looking at some bluebells that we cut from our own woodland a few weeks back, and the seed is now dried and is starting to release. And if I actually just move some of the dry to one side, you'll be able to see, if we can zoom in a bit there. There we are, that's all the bluebell seed that's released itself. That's English bluebell seed from our own woodland. As I say, wonderful to be able to do this sort of thing. And as I said earlier, we're going to be doing fuchsias soon, and it won't be long before we start on things like tomatoes as well. So it's that time of year where we're seed saving, and all quite good fun really. So it's true, the corn really is as high as an elephant's eye. That's about it for this month. As you can see, we've had a busy month. We're pleased that we've got protected growing space, otherwise crops like the corn we may or may not get any outside. For the month ahead, we've got a very busy month in August. We're launching our new website middle of September. More about that at the beginning of September, but let's just say it's been a project we've been working on for 12, 13 months now, very quietly and very secretly. We're proud of what's going to be there. That'll be coming along very soon. You can also now find us on Facebook, and we're on Twitter as well, so we really are clambering into the modern world. So as I say, August is going to be a busy month, lots to do. Hopefully the weather's going to settle down into one pattern, and we'll catch up with you at the beginning of September.